Hello and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Nahoho Rashid Matselele. I am your host. And today I'm going to be talking about a very important topic that is now changing the way we learn and teach. And that is artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI. And in this podcast, particularly, I'm looking at its impact on the education sector in Uganda. Now, for many years, teachers, lecturers, and tutors have been the main source of knowledge. A student would attend class, listen to a lecturer, take notes, read textbooks, and complete assignments based on what they had learned. But today, as we are in the era of artificial intelligence, we see that the education environment has pretty changed. A student with a smartphone and who has internet access can actually ask artificial intelligence tools to explain a very difficult concept, or if he has a book, he or she might ask AI to summarize that book, or if he wants any idea, he or she can ask AI to generate ideas or translate information or even help organize a research project. Now, this development raises an important question, and that is, what should teachers and lecturers do in the era of artificial intelligence? Recently, I had a conversation with a young man who is doing his bachelor's degree in education, and he was raising some concerns, and he was like, AI can now give students any information that they want, and he was quite concerned that in the future, perhaps maybe teachers would not have any job to do. The answer is not to fear artificial intelligence, but to understand how to use it effectively. Artificial intelligence should not replace teachers. Instead, it should help teachers become better educators. That's what I think. Because the traditional role of an instructor was mainly to transfer information. But information is now everywhere with the coming of AI. The new role of an educator, therefore, is to help students understand information. It's not about access to information, because every student now is able to access information outside there with the use of these artificial intelligence tools. Now, in this era, the role of an instructor, a lecturer, a teacher in the class is to help these students. How do they understand that information which they have accessed? How do they question it? How do they analyze it? And how do they use it to solve real world problems? That is the new role of a teacher. Now, for example, if I am a journalism lecturer, I don't think I need to ask my students that define agenda setting theory, because that is something that my student will just put in ChatGPT, and within just a second, AI will provide that answer. Instead, the lecturer can ask, how has agenda setting theory influenced media coverage of national issues in Uganda? Now, that is a question which is calling the student to first go and look at some of the television programs that have been produced in Uganda by broadcasting media houses, and then look at some of the radio programs, look at some of the social media content, and see how it rhymes with the agenda setting theory. So such a question requires students to think critically, conduct research, and apply knowledge to real situations. This is what we call higher order thinking. Therefore, teachers must move students beyond just memorization, like we have always done, and encourage skills such as analyzing information, evaluating information, creativity, and also problem solving. So, what practical steps should Ugandan teachers take to ensure that they cope up with the age of AI or the AI revolution? I think, first of all, teachers and lecturers should learn how to use AI as a teaching assistant. That is very important. Just like we have been having computers, personal computers, laptops, phones, which have been so helpful in enabling teachers to do their work faster, because before the coming of these computers, there was a time when a teacher has to prepare his work, his teaching work plan with handwritten material, writing with his own hands. But with the coming of these computers, a teacher can sit on the laptop, computer, type his work, organize his presentation very well, and go to class. And that has saved a lot of time. So AI is a teaching assistant. It can help teachers to generate lesson plans, create discussion questions, prepare learning materials, and provide even examples of those lessons that they have prepared. And this can save their time and allow them to focus more on mentoring and engaging with students. So if AI is used as a teaching assistant, it can really be beneficial to our instructors in all education institutions. Now, secondly, is that I think we need to redesign the assessment mode in educational institutions, because traditionally learners have been always asked to write assignments that require repeating information, and that has now changed because AI can easily complete those tasks. Now what we need to do is assessments should focus on creativity. They should focus on research and practical solutions to real-world problems. That's where now teachers should focus. For example, instead of asking students to describe challenges facing Uganda media, a lecturer can ask them to design like a communication strategy to address those challenges. Because if you just ask a student that describe the challenges facing Ugandan media, then that is something which is easy for AI to answer. It will generate answers. But if you ask them to look at one of the challenges and then design a communication strategy to address some of those challenges, then that will call a student to go and look at the information, see how he can apply it, analyze it, evaluate it. Then another thing I think is that we must teach students how to use AI responsibly. It has been noticed that in some of the institutions, instructors are discouraging young men and women to use these AI tools. In fact, most of the lecturers, supervisors, when they read through some of the students' work, they will quickly rubbish it and say, you know what, you used AI. There are testimonies of students who have said that lecturers have thrown away their scripts because they think that their work has been AI generated. Now, by doing that, we are not helping these learners. Students, we need to teach them how to use these AI tools without going against ethical principles. Okay, students need to be told that AI is not always correct. They also need to be told that AI can provide inaccurate information. Sometimes AI provides biased responses or even incomplete answers. Therefore, students must learn to verify this information which they get from AI They also need to be taught how to use credible sources such that we avoid the cases of plagiarism and maintain that spirit of academic honesty. That is very important. Another thing I think is that teachers should embrace continuous learning. The world of technology is changing quickly. Now, the educators of today must also become lifelong learners. So, universities, schools, and education institutions in Uganda should provide training opportunities that help teachers to develop digital and artificial intelligence skills. However, we must also recognize that Uganda, we still have challenges such as limited internet access, expensive data costs, and unequal access to digital devices. So as we embrace artificial intelligence, we must ensure that technology benefits all learners, including those in rural communities. AI should become a tool for reducing the educational gaps and not increasing them. Perhaps as I come to the end of this podcast, we should know that the future of education is not about replacing teachers with machines. The future of education is about empowering teachers with better tools. Students do not only need information as it has always been, they need guidance. They need teachers who are going to inspire them. They need lecturers who are going to mentor them. And they need educators who are going to foster and promote that human connection within education environment. A machine can provide an answer like any AI tool, what it is now doing today, but a teacher helps a learner to understand why that answer matters. How can he or she apply that answer to real situations? So the best educators in the era of artificial intelligence will be those who combine technology with human creativity, who use wisdom to apply AI tools. So let us accept that AI is here, and the question is not whether education will change, but the real question is, are our teachers and institutions ready to change with artificial intelligence? Until next time, my name is Nakhoho Rashid Matselele. I've been your host. We meet again in another episode.